Hey, what's going on? It's Joey from the Hitting Performance Lab, and in this video, Mr. Nick, I'm going to talk about your deadlift. So let's take a look. You gave me a couple notes about your back bowing a little bit, or flexing is what you were talking about. And we'll look at your side view first. Just look at it in fast motion, regular motion. Your first setup was actually the best one, kind of until you started to lift it. But then after that, our setup wasn't very good. And I'll show you why. Just kind of look and watch this and see what if you're looking at your spine and then keeping your head in line with that spine, see if you can see anything. I see how your head's bobbling all over the place. That's a lot of the reason why that back's bowing, because we're not keeping our head in line, and it's causing your lower back, or actually for you, your mid back, because what you mentioned was that your core is a little weak. We're working on that right now to stabilize that core a little bit. So that core is having a hard time stabilizing. So what will happen is the muscles in the back will take most of the force, which obviously we don't want our spine. Your spine isn't a loading piece of equipment. We want the muscles that are around the spine to load whatever it is we're trying to pick up or push or pull or whatever, or squat. So your first setup, when you're setting up, actually look pretty good. Okay, as you roll the weight back, boom. Okay, if we look at this here, now this is where I want you to set up every single time. Every rep that you do should be just like this. Now look what happens to your head as you start to lift. Okay. First of all, your butt went first. See how your butt's going up? That again. So your first move is your butt going up instead of you actually pushing the ground away. That's a good cue to use when you first start pulling the weight off the ground, picking it up, is just push the ground away. Okay, a lot of times in the beginning, a lot of my deadlifters, my deadlifting athletes, they'll push the butt up first, almost they segment the move by pushing the butt up first, and then they go into the pull. Now the problem with that is that watch what your head does as your butt segments, as your butt goes boop. Look at your head. Now look at what we got here. Is we got this with the head, and then we have this with the spine. It starts to break, and as you continue up, you continue in that same broken position. Okay, and what you'll see is not on this rep, except maybe at the top. You won't see the bow as much, but you'll see it on your next reps. Okay, so you're going to come up. Okay, head starts there, and now we finally get back to straight. At the top, we kind of go chin to chest a little bit. So I want to see this. I want to see that head back a little bit. So what you might want to work on is when you do your deadlift patterning, is instead of using the stick, I want you to take your left hand, make an L with your thumb and your index finger, and I want you to make very strong, really stretch those fingers out like you're trying to spread them as far as you can. So you got that L with your finger, with your hand, and I want you to take the thumb, place it on your midsection, take your chin and just rest it on the tip of your index finger. Okay, so that distance from your chin to your chest should stay the same from when you go down and when you go up. So when you, instead of using the stick, just stand against the wall like we normally do, but I want you to train that head and that brain to figure out how that head needs to stay as you go down and go up, because that seems to be the issue here. So even if, like with Anthony, when I was working with him, redshirt freshman in college, is even at the bottom, he's got a really good bottom up, or at the bottom part, but then he screws up as he's getting better, but he would screw up as he was getting ready to straighten up, like almost halfway up to standing. But he did this in the beginning. He segmented, he pushed his butt up first. But what he was good at, see, if you did this but you let your head follow your spine, you would have been okay. You'd have been better. It would have been perfect. It would not have been perfect, but you would have put your body in a better, more forceful position if you'd have tucked that head down a little bit. See, now you put yourself in you started in a bad position, so now when you actually start to lift the weight, you're stuck there. You've already gone in the tunnel, and you can't change it from there. It's really hard to change it when you're under load until you get to the top, which your glutes are actually pretty good, whereas Anthony's led with his head at the end. your glutes are strong, and that's because we did those corrective exercises last month. But if you can see what I'm doing, it's the beginning that you have to push the ground away. So you're lifting this weight with your body as one unit. You're pushing the ground away with your body as one unit, trying to get nice and tall instead of segmenting it. But if you do this, you get light enough weight where this isn't going to hurt you. But if you segment it and your butt goes up first, like you feel that hamstring and butt nice and tight, I want you to keep that head, that distance between your chin and your, like if you splayed your fingers in that L, push your thumb on your collarbone and rested your chin on the tip of your index finger, I want you to keep that chin and sternum distance the same. So your head should actually tuck down if your butt goes up. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I mean, this was your best one, and then what you're talking about, your back just gets tired, or your abs weren't turning on your head. So this is another rep. So that head is back in that position again. We got that angle here, and then we got that now the back's bowing because you're like, oh crap, my abdominals aren't turning on, and my I'm losing force here because I'm turning my head back. So that first rep really set the tone for the rest of the reps here in this set. And so they're very, very crucial with that first motion. And then from there, you're tucking your chin at the top a little bit. So I want you to really do that drill, do the patterning, deadlift patterning with the L finger, with your left hand in a nice splayed L, stretching those fingers out as far as you can and keep them nice and strong. As you come down, it looks a little better, but you're still, see with the head, still kind of there. And then that's causing us to bow our back. Your back's taking the brunt of that. So I'll be surprised if your lower back didn't feel tight last night or the other day, the next day. Okay, so just head position is the big one with you right now. I wouldn't even be super concerned with segmenting yet because it's lower weight, but at least your head position you need to fix. Okay, most of the stuff I saw from the side, the front, it's going to be the same stuff. Okay, looks like you're doing okay with creating torque with your feet. Okay, this hand I'd like to see you're breaking the bar, so this elbow pit I want to see turn forward a little bit. But as long as we're turning those feet, creating a torque in the ground, you're doing okay there. So this knee needs to push out a little bit. The telltale sign is these knees should push out on the front view. But other than that, dude, looking good, looking better than the last video. Just work on that head position with your hand, with that L hand position, and we'll see you in the next video, brother. Keep working hard.